Many modern systems allow multiple views or programs to be displayed on the screen at the same time, each in its own separate area. These are called windows. The windows are sometimes allowed to overlap like pieces of paper on a desk. Other times, the windows automatically change size to make sure they never overlap. Often, the windows can be represented by a small picture or label called an icon. The way that the computer organizes the icons in the windows is called a desktop. Here are some examples of desktops.
In Star and Viewpoint, icons represent objects rather than processes. The user is encouraged to think of them as physical objects. Icons exist on the desktop, a working environment where these familiar objects reside. The user is free to organize their desktop how they please, except that multiple icons may not occupy the same place. Icons come in two types, data icons and function icons. Data icons, such as a document, represents data. A function icon, such as a printer, represents an action that will operate on any data icon. Each icon may be copied, moved, deleted, have its properties changed, be filed, mailed, printed, opened, closed, and so forth. If an icon is moved to a position that is already occupied, then either it will be rejected or absorbed, for example by a file folder. Function icons typically are invoked by copying a data icon to them. For example, copying a document to the file drawer icon causes it to be filed on a file service where it is accessible by many people. Copying a document to the printer icon causes it to be printed. Copying a file folder to the out basket causes it to be mailed. Icons are not created, but copied. The source for the user's first icons are from the directory. It contains one of every type of icon that the user may use.
The Macintosh operating system is represented as a menu bar at the top of the screen, a gray background covering the rest of the active display area, icons representing various file system entities, and windows for viewing the contents thereof. Volume icons may be opened into directory windows showing files and subdirectories. Subdirectories are represented as folders, which also may be opened into directory windows. Files may be opened into windows which show the contents thereof. The menu bar will change to show all the commands available in the program that owns the active window. An object may be moved from one directory to another simply by dragging it to the desired destination. An object may be copied from one volume to another simply by dragging it to the desired volume. An object may be deleted by dragging it to the trash can. Notice that whenever the destination is an icon, that it will highlight when it is able to accept the object in question. Directories may be viewed in several ways, for example by icon as shown here, by lists such as listing alphabetically by name, and by small icon. In all views, the same methods are used for all operations, such as copying, or deleting, or opening.
In the Sapphire Window Manager, windows can be moved partially or fully off screen. The window that is attached to the keyboard has its border highlighted. Each window has an associated icon that is always visible, even when the window is on the screen. The icons are all collected together into a special window. Each icon continuously displays 8 pieces of window and process state information, including an error indicator, a keyboard to show that the process is waiting for input, an attention signal, the name of the program being run, and % on progress indicators to show how far along the process is.
Workspace allows me to customize my own view of the Unix file tree. For example, I can select an icon and use the right mouse menu to choose to put it away from the desktop. Notice I've just put it away from my view. I haven't changed the position in the tree of the file. I can grab an icon to take it to a new position in the Workspace window. And I can open a new view and drag a folder out onto the Workspace. The Workspace presents a world of desktop icons. As I move the cursor over icons, each highlights to show me who is listening to the mouse. When I use the left mouse button to select, the icon highlights yellow to show me that it has been selected. I can select several icons at once by dragging a pick box, and I can add to that selection by holding the Shift key down and using the left mouse button to select. I can unselect icons as well by still holding the Shift key down and selecting already selected icons. And I can deselect by selecting the background. If I open one of these folders by double-clicking, the icon animates to an open position to show me that that directory view is open. The same technique is used for applications. When I double-click on this clock, the clock appears and the icon animates to an open position to show me that the clock is running. When I close the clock, the icon returns to its original position. When I drag an icon, which I can do by selecting with the left mouse and then moving the mouse, icons highlight blue to show me who can accept icons being dropped on them. When I drop, this application displays an image on the screen. I can also drag icons and drop them into folders. When I drop this into this open folder, we see it appear in the directory view. I can also drag between windows to have the icon appear in a new window.
Look, I have mail. Let's see what it is.
Apollo Computer's new Visual Shell is an easy-to-use desktop which provides an iconic representation of the file system. It includes a broad range of built-in functions, which are user-extensible to create a complete end-user environment. To edit a file, you select its icon with the mouse and drag the file into the Edit window. When using Apollo Computer's new Visual Shell, double-clicking on any object causes the object method to be applied to that object. For example, this could result in a program executing or a directory being entered. A single click will select a file, or you may sweep a region to select a group of files. Dragging that group into another directory will result in those files being copied.